Good morning, students. My name is Mrs. Mercado, and I'm going to be providing you with a short orientation of how this course is structured both in Blackboard or Cengage. Okay, so right now I'm going to give you a little bit of an overview about myself, but first I'm going to go ahead and show you how to get started. Okay, so in order to be able to access my course, you have to access Blackboard. Okay, so you log into the South Texas College webpage, and then on the right hand corner there's a Blackboard button. That is what you're going to go ahead and select to be able to log into your courses. Now, by now you should have your username and password, okay? So you enter your username and you enter your password, and then you can log in, okay? If you don't have a username or password, please contact the Office of Admissions. That way they can provide that to you, okay? That's not something that I can provide. That's something that you have to get straight from admissions, okay? So after you have your username and password entered, just select on the login button. That is going to take you to this page that has the courses that you are taking. Okay, so right now you're seeing me as an instructor. Okay, it might look a little bit different for you, but overall you would be seeing a list of your classes. Okay, so for example, for me, I have 2 classes in summer 1 and I have 1 class in summer 2. Okay, I am recording this lecture before the semester starts, so this particular class is still not available. It's going to be available on July the 10th, the first day of school. Okay, but this is how your Blackboard should look. You should have a list of all of the classes that you're taking, and then you would just select the class that you want to enter. Okay, so in this particular case, you want to enter my class, which is Accounting 1303 V30 Introduction to Accounting 1. Okay, so if you select on that link, it will redirect you to my actual course. Okay, this is my class. This is what I've built for you. Okay, so when you log into my class, you're going to go ahead and you're going to see some general information about myself and a picture. In case you don't know who I am, this is what I look like. My name is Claudia Mercado. Usually in a regular semester, I am housed over in Starr County. Because it is the summer, I am only teaching online classes. I do not have office hours, okay, in an actual campus. All of my office hours are online. Okay, I do have my office phone number there, but I'm never in my office, so it'll be very difficult for you to contact me through my phone. But you can always contact me through Blackboard Messages, okay? Or you can always send me an email to cmercado_5827@southtexascollege.edu. Okay. Now for summer 2, I am going to have online office hours Monday through Thursdays from 10:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Okay. Okay. This does not mean that this is the only time you can contact me. Okay, if you're working on your assignments and you have a question, just send me a Blackboard message, whatever hour of the day or night that is, and I will get back to you as soon as possible. Okay, and I'm pretty fast at responding to students' inquiries. I log into Blackboard a couple times a day. If you do send me a message in the middle of the night, okay, by that time more than likely I'm going to be asleep. So I won't be able to answer you, right there and then. But as soon as I wake up the following morning, I check my messages and I respond to students. Okay, so if you have a question, you're in doubt, just shoot me a message through Blackboard and I will get back to you. Okay. Okay, so this is just some general information about myself. I'm going to move on, okay, to the next section. Now, if you notice here, there's a Start Here tab, which is what we're looking at. That is basically the first thing that I've created that you need to look at. Why? Because you need to read and go through all of this material, okay? It is very important that before you jump into your assignments, you understand how this course is structured, the different components that you need to be aware of, so you can be able to succeed. Okay? Do not skip the Start Here reviewing all of this information. Okay? So the first thing that you're going to see is the orientation, okay, which is what you're listening to right now, which is awesome. Okay? That's the first thing you should do. Listen to my orientation, as I will provide very useful information in this orientation, and I will answer a lot of your questions you might have. Okay? After you are done listening to the orientation, I highly recommend, or I highly advise, that you go through each of the folders that I've created below. Okay. Now on the first folder, we have essential course information. Okay. If you select essential course information, you're going to have some information about myself. Okay. And because this is an orientation, I am not going to read verbatim every single thing here. I'm going to let you do it. I just want to let you know what is or what I have created within my Blackboard course, so you can be aware. Okay. So the first section is basically information about myself, my education, my grading policies, my assignment policies. Okay. It's very important that you read. Now, I'm a very strict instructor per se, but I also understand sometimes students face difficulties. Okay. So I do have here that I do not accept late assignments, and that all of my due dates are clearly stated in my syllabus, which they are, and we'll go over that in a minute. Okay. But there are situations where I do make exceptions, and these are student by student based exceptions. Okay. There are situations when there's a death in the family, when you're a parent and you have a sick child, or when you're an adult and you have parents that are elderly and they're sick, or that you personally are going through a problem, a medical situation, or anything of that nature. If you're going through anything, out of the ordinary, that it's impacting your progress in my class or your completion of the assignments timely, please reach out to me as soon as possible. That way I can work with you and coordinate with you. I want you to succeed. Okay, that is my goal here. I am not here to punish you. I am not here to do any of that. There are deadlines that need to be met. Why? Because when you go out there to the real world, there are deadlines you have to meet in your work. You have to arrive to work on time. You have to complete your work timely. These are all responsibilities that I am preparing you for, aside from learning the actual content. Okay, so there's a lot of things that you do need to learn and be able to abide by. But if something out of the ordinary happens, just do communicate with me. I do work with my students. Okay, so I'm pretty responsive. Like I said before, I do answer my messages, with the exception of, okay, now here I have my response times. Okay, I check my email, my STC email, and my Blackboard messages daily. I check them from Monday through Friday. Okay, usually any messages received after 5 p.m. After 5 p.m. throughout the night, they will not be responded till the next morning. Okay, because I like my afternoon. I spend it, at that time I go to the gym, or I take care of my family duties. I cook, I clean, I do stuff like that. Okay, but during the day, I usually check my emails a couple of times a day, and I respond as soon as I can. Okay, any messages received past 5 p.m. Will not be responding till the next morning. Okay, now that's Monday through Thursday. Okay, now on Friday, if you send me an email message past 5 p.m. on Friday or the weekend, I'm not going to answer that message till Monday. Okay, so I highly encourage students that they start working on their assignments as soon as possible. That way, if you do come across a question, you get with me Monday through Friday during the day. That way I can respond to your inquiries. I will not be answering questions on the weekend. Okay, the weekends are my weekends. I am also a full-time student, so I am also working on my PhD currently. So I tend to utilize my weekend to complete my homework assignments. Okay, so I disconnect from my work on the weekends, and I focus on my studies on the weekend. Okay, so that's very important for you to be aware of. Okay, that way, if you have questions, you let me know during the week. Okay. The next area we have is the summary of the purpose and structure of the course. These are the 7 things that by the time you finish my course, you should know how to do. Okay, so we're going to define general accounting terminology. We're going to analyze and record business transactions in a manual and computerized environment. We're going to complete the accounting cycle. We're going to learn how to prepare financial statements. We're going to apply accounting concepts related to cash and payroll. We're going to learn how to prepare a bank reconciliation, and we're going to correct accounting errors. Okay, so those are the 7 things, the main things that we're going to focus on. On top of that, we are going to learn other things, but these are the core of the actual course. Okay, so course structure. Okay, my courses are structured on a weekly basis. Okay, so usually every week you're going to have assignments. Okay, usually the assignments are based a homework and a quiz per chapter. Okay, so for every chapter you're going to have a quiz. For every chapter you're going to have a homework. Okay, Now the quizzes are short. They're multiple choice, fill in the blank kind of a thing. Those are pretty easy for you to do. Quizzes are timed. Okay, you have 60 minutes to complete each quiz. You have 2 tries. Okay, I keep the highest grade from those 2 tries. So if you take try number 1, you get a 50. You do try number 2, you get an 80. I will keep the 80. I always keep the highest grade. Okay. Now the homework assignments are very important. This is what's going to prepare you for your exams. Okay. All of the problems in your tests are coming straight out of your homework. So if you do your homework, you're going to ace your test, okay? Because I am preparing you for the test by giving you this homework so you can practice, so you can ask questions, so you can go ahead and identify the areas that you're struggling with so we can correct anything that you might be dealing with. And then when you take the test, you'll be ready and prepared, okay? The homework assignments, you also have 2 tries. I also keep the highest grade earned, but the homework is not timed. You can take as long as you want doing the homework. There's a button, and I'll show you that in a little bit. When you're working on your homework, you can just save your work and then resume it at a later time. Okay, so the homework is not timed. Okay, now both the homework and the quizzes have 2 tries. They are not mandatory that you complete the second attempt. Okay, it's available to you in case you have any technical difficulties, the system logged you out, your computer crashed, whatever the case might be. Okay, you do not have to use a second attempt only if you feel you need it. If you are not scoring good grades, I highly encourage that you use that second attempt. Okay, so something very important I want to emphasize. Okay, usually the homework assignments are open for a week. Okay, except for the first week, because the first weeks I believe we are starting on a Wednesday. You're going to have from Wednesday through Sunday to complete your homework, and then the week after that you're going to have Monday through Sunday. Okay, so usually you have a week to complete your homework assignments. Okay, the week starts on a Monday with the exception of week number 1, and ends on a Sunday at 11 p.m. at night. So you basically have the entire week to complete your assignments. Now, if you fail to complete any of your assignments, okay, you'll just get a 0, okay, which is awesome for you, right? But the key here is, the reason I emphasize to my students that you must work on your assignments is, after you complete your assignments on Sunday, early Monday morning of the following week, you're going to get the answers to your homework and your quizzes. I do this so you can have this information available, so you can go back and review, what did I do wrong, what did I do right, okay, and be able to study and prepare for your test. Okay, this is an open book, open notes kind of a class. Okay, I don't expect you to memorize the textbook, but I do expect you to know how to be able to solve specific problems, even with the use of a book, okay, or your notes. Okay, so students find it very helpful to get those answers, because then they can go back and say, okay, I got this part wrong, this is the correct answer, this is how you solve it, now I got it. Okay, if you do not complete the assignments, you will not get the answers. Okay, so you must complete the assignments to be able to get the solutions to your homework and your quizzes, so you can be able to review. That is why it is so important for you to be able to complete your assignments. If you do not complete the assignments, you do not get the answers for your review. Okay, so it's critical that you complete all of your assignments. Okay, you are going to have 2 tests during summer 2. Okay, you're going to have 2 tries for each test. Very nice. Okay, I give you 2 opportunities for the test. I will keep the highest grade earned. Now, every time you take the test, it will be a different test. Every student will have a different test. Okay, so it's not the same test. All of the tests are different. The same components, different questions. Okay, so in one question, it could say the employee is Pancho Villa. On the second test, the employee is Mickey Mouse. In test number A, for student A, he makes $10.25 an hour. For Mickey Mouse, he makes $14 an hour. Okay, so the concepts are the same, the names change, the figures change. Okay, but the concept of the problem will remain the same. But every time you take a test, you have 2 tries, it will be different problems. Okay, you're also going to complete 1 project during the semester. Okay, now this project is the accounting cycle. Okay, so this project is going to be available to you after we complete chapters 1 through 6. Chapters 1 through 6 focus on the accounting cycle. Once we're done, we're going to take a test and you're going to complete this project. Okay? So, all of these assignments that I'm talking to you about right now must be completed in Cengage. Okay? So you do need to have access to Cengage. Cengage is basically a platform that we utilize to be able to complete your assignments. And I'll go through that a little bit more in detail in a little bit. Okay? Now, this is the textbook that we are going to be using. This is the last semester I'm going to be using this textbook, as a brand new edition has been released, which we are going to be starting using in the fall. Okay? So this is the last semester we're going to be using it. This is an older edition. It's the latest edition, so you will find it for a fairly good price. If you are interested in purchasing the actual textbook online, you can get it for $15-20. But if you're not interested in that, you do have to have access to Cengage. Now, Cengage offers this bundle, which is you pay $119.99 per semester, and you get unlimited access to any courses, materials that you need. So let's say, for example, you're taking a business principles course, a payroll course, an introduction to accounting. You would have access to all of that content for $119.99 a semester. Okay, so it's a great feature that we have. Included with that is free access to the electronic book. Okay, so you will have access electronically to your textbook. So you are not required to physically buy a textbook. Now, if you are one of those people, like I am, I need a book because I need to write on it or whatever the case might be, you can either purchase it or purchase it used, I would rather say, or Cengage offers rentals. You can rent the book for, I believe it's $7.99, okay, from Cengage. Okay, but you will be needing College Accounting 22 edition, and you will be needing access to See Now, okay, which is Cengage Now. So you do need to be able to purchase that access code, and I'll show you how to do that in a bit as well. Okay, and this is just some general information about, you communicating online. And if you have any questions, you can always contact Student Services and Technical Support. Okay, so this is just some general information. Please go back and read it. Okay, now I'm going to go back, and I'm going to show you what is very important, which is your syllabus. Okay. So, on the second folder, I have a lot of more information. The first thing I have is your syllabus. Okay, and I've added your syllabus in Word and in PDF. Some students can view PDF files, so I've added it in the Word document as well. Whatever works for you, it's the same information. Okay, I'm going to open up the syllabus in PDF form. Okay, that way we can see it. And I am not going to read through the 10 pages. Okay, I'm going to let you do it. Okay, I highly encourage that you print out your syllabus and you put it in a folder. Okay, and you're marking as you're completing your work all of the assignments that you've completed. Okay, that way you don't miss anything. That way you're on top of things, you're organized, and you know what is pending to be done, what needs to be done for the week, all of that good stuff. Okay, so here we just have some general information. You've got information about myself, which I've already gone over. You've got information about my chair. Okay, this is the course catalog description. This is an introductory accounting course that's going to prepare you for learning the basics of accounting. So basically, this course is a study of analyzing, classifying, and recording business transactions in a manual and computerized environment. Okay, and the emphasis in this course is to learn the accounting cycle, preparing financial statements, bank reconciliations, and payroll. Okay. Now, I said there were 7 course learning outcomes that we have to complete by the end of the semester. I've identified in what assignment we are going to be completing this. Okay, so to define accounting terminology, that's going to be assessed in test number 1. To analyze and record business transactions in a manual and computerized environment, that's going to be your accounting cycle project. Complete the accounting cycle, that's going to be your accounting cycle project. You're going to prepare financial statements, that's going to be assessed in test number 1. You're going to apply accounting concepts related to cash and payroll, that's going to be in your final exam. You're going to prepare bank reconciliations, that's going to be on your final exam. And you're going to correct accounting errors, that's going to be assessed in your test number 1. Okay, so this is the assessments that you're going to complete, so I can be able to identify if you've mastered or not mastered the specific objective. Now, this is just some general information about your textbook. Make sure that you have a computer with reliable internet access. Now, this is an online class. You need to have access to a computer you need to have access to internet. Okay? I've had students tell me, Miss, well, I don't have a computer. Miss, I didn't have internet. That is why I couldn't complete your assignments. Okay? Day number 1, I am letting you know this is an online class. You need to have access to a computer with reliable internet. If you don't have one at home, then you should have access to one. All of our STC campuses, libraries, open labs have this for you. Okay? So you need to be able to commute to these locations so you can be able to complete your assignments. Okay? You must log in into Blackboard daily. In case I post any announcements, any important information, you'll become aware of it. Okay? You're going to need a calculator. This could be a calculator in your phone, in your computer, or a regular calculator. That's up to you. And you might want to have a flash drive. That way you can save your work as you're progressing. Okay? Something very important I am going to go over is your grading. Okay? Your tests are worth 50% of your overall grade. Okay? I grade using a 1,000 point scale system. Okay? 500 of your points are coming from tests. 250 of your points, which is 25% of your grade, is coming from your homework. 15% of your grade, which is 150 points, is coming from your semester project, and 10% of your grade, which is 100 points, is coming from your quizzes. At the end, the maximum number of points would be 1,000. Okay? Every assignment, and I'm going to go through that at the very end of the syllabus, has points assigned to them. So you know exactly how many points each assignment is worth. Okay? Assignments are due on the specific due dates, and all of my due dates are outlined in my syllabus as well as in my Blackboard modules. I do not give makeup exams unless there is a documented excuse and the student reaches out to me. Okay? I shouldn't be reaching out to a student. If something is happening in your life, you reach out to me, we discuss, and we identify a plan to be able to help you move forward. Okay? I don't give extensions unless there is some special circumstance, and I highly encourage that you do check your Blackboard messages. You log into Blackboard or your emails in case I do communicate with you. Okay? Now, at the end of the semester, you're going to have accumulated a certain number of points. Okay? If you have accumulated between 900 and 1,000 points, you're going to get an A. If you have accumulated 800 to 899 points, you're going to get a B. If you have accumulated 700 to 799 points, you're going to get a C. 600 to 699 points, a D. And anything below 599, you're going to get an F. Okay? I don't give you the grades. You earn your grade. Okay? So I don't want students saying, well, the miss gave me an F. No, the miss did not give me an F. You earned an F. Okay? I'm very communicative with my students. I help them as much as I can. I have some students sending me 10, 12 messages a day. Okay? Some students might say, oh, miss, I'm a burden. No, you're not a burden. Okay? I'm here to teach. I'm here to help. So if you have a question, just be clear on your question. Okay? Just don't tell me I'm lost. Tell me, miss, I'm working on this problem. This is what I'm doing, and I don't quite understand what I'm doing here. Can you provide guidance? And I will do that for you. Okay? I'm here to help you. Okay? Attendance. This is an online class, so there's really no way for me to show if you're attending or not attending. The only way I can show is by your participation. If you don't complete your assignments, you're not participating. Okay? If you are not participating, it is your responsibility to drop the class. I do not drop students. If the student fails to drop from the class or withdraw from the course, I'm going to issue at the end of the semester the grade that they earned, which could potentially be an F, and that can affect your GPA. Okay? So it's very important that you stay active in the class, or if you feel, you know what, I can't handle this, or something's happening in my personal life, I need to withdraw from the course. That's your responsibility. Okay? I'm going to let you read all of this information on your own. Okay? All of this is important. If you have some form of disability, impairment, if you need any special accommodations, make sure you contact the designated departments, and then they'll reach out to me so I can be able to work with you. Okay? Course structure, we already went over the course structure before. Every week, the first thing you should do is read the chapter. Do not attempt your assignments without reading. And I know reading can be boring, okay? But in Cengage, once you go into the electronic book, there's an option that there's a reader. The reader can read to you if you don't like to read. I particularly like to read out loud to me, I comprehend things when I read out loud, when I listen to myself speak. Okay? So it's how you read, or if the computer reads to you, or if you read it on your own, it's up to you. Just read the chapter before you start your assignments. Okay? I've also posted some PowerPoint slides in the weekly module, and I'll show you that in a bit. I'll review those slides as well. Okay? Once you've done that, you can start working on your assignments. And like I said, you have 2 assignments per chapter, which is a homework and a quiz. And you have 2 tries for each. Okay? You're going to have 2 tests. I will give you a review for the test. I'll let you know exactly what problems to study. That way you don't study the whole thing. I am pretty good at this. I give you an exact review. Focus on these problems and you'll do great. Okay? They're going to be very similar to this. Okay? And you're going to have 1 project, okay, which I already mentioned. It's dealing with the accounting cycle. This project will become available after you complete the first 6 chapters. Okay? So these are just some general question and answer kind of things that I usually, my students make to me. So I answered some of the questions here. Make sure that you do read that information. I've already stressed the importance of you contacting me Monday through Friday. I don't respond to any messages after 5 p.m. on Friday or during the weekend. Okay? I usually respond to my students' emails fairly quickly. You do need to have internet access to be able to complete your coursework. This is just some general information. Make sure that you read all of this information. Okay? This is just your responsibilities. I do not tolerate students cheating in my class. Okay? I provide you all of the resources. For your test, I give you a review of exactly what's going to be on it, so you can practice and prepare. Your questions from your test are coming from your homework. So if you did good on your homework, you'll do good on your test. Okay? I encourage students to work together and collaborate in teams to complete your homework. Okay? Working in a group environment is very beneficial. When I was going to college, working on my bachelor's and my master's, I had a close group of friends. We were majoring in the same thing. We would always get together and work on the assignments together. Now, working on the assignments together is not the same thing as copying from your classmates. Okay? If you're going to create a study group, it's so you can help each other out. Okay? You're going to work on their homework problems. If you become stuck or don't understand something, your classmates can contribute and then you can get your questions clarified. Okay? You're not going to sit there and just take the answers. Okay? I encourage that you do create these study groups with the intent of helping each other out, not copying. Okay? The day of the test, everybody should be flying solo. You should be each completing your own test. If I find out that you are copying, cheating, or having else take a test, you will be expelled from the college. Okay? So it's very important that you are honest and that you abide by all of the, academic honesty, your academic honesty, and that you do complete all of your work yourself. You should not be copying. You should not have other people do your work. Okay, now we get to the core of my syllabus. This is very important. This is why I want you to print it out. Okay, at the end of the syllabus, I have a schedule of what we're going to do every week. Okay, now remember, this is summer 2. We're going to be completing in about 4.5 weeks what we usually complete in 16 weeks. So yes, expect to have a lot of work to do. Okay? This is a summer class. It's like if it was a mini-semester. Okay? This is going to be intense. Okay? So expect to be able to complete your assignments. And I know a lot of you work, and I know a lot of you have children and families, but find time. Okay? If you work an 8 to 5 job, get home, cook dinner, put your kids to bed, and you can start working on your homework 8:39 and maybe work all the way till 11. 2 hours a day will get you through, and then on the Sunday you can finish anything that you might be pending. Okay? I know how this works because I have a full-time job, I have 4 kids, and I'm a full-time student as well working on my PhD. Okay? So if I can do it, you can do it. Okay? So Week number 1 is going to be a little bit intense. Why? Because we start on a Wednesday, which is July the 10th. So you're going to have July the 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, and 14th. You're going to have 5 days to complete 3 chapters. Okay? So during week number 1, you're going to become familiar with the course, review everything under the start here, create your account in Cengage, and get started. Chapter 1 is very short. I don't anticipate you spending more than an hour reading it and more than an hour completing your chapter 1 quiz and homework. It's that easy, okay? You're not going to do any accounting in chapter 1. It's just general information, okay? Now for chapter 2 and 3, we do get a little bit more in depth. So do expect to spend a good 5 to 6 hours per chapter, okay? So the assignments that need to be completed during this week is a tutorial, okay? It's a Cengage tutorial on how to use it. It is for a grade, okay? So you must complete it. That's the first thing you should complete. Then you're going to have your chapter 1 quiz, your chapter 1 homework, your chapter 2 quiz, your chapter 2 homework, your chapter 3 quiz, and your chapter 3 homework. All of these assignments are due on Sunday, July the 14th at 11 p.m. Okay? The solutions to these assignments will be available on Monday, July the 15th. At that point, you need to go back, review your work, identify what you did right, what you did wrong, and if you have questions, you reach out to me, okay? Week number 2, we're going to cover chapter 4, 5, and 6. Once again, you're going to have 7 days in this case to complete all 3 chapters. You're going to have a homework and a quiz for each chapter. And all of these assignments for week number 2 will be due on Sunday, July the 21st at 11 p.m. Week number 3, you're going to review for your test, which is going to cover chapters 1 through 6. Okay? You are going to take test number 1. Test number 1 is going to be available Monday, July the 22nd from 8 in the morning all the way through Thursday at 11 p.m. So you're going to have 4 full days to take your test. Remember, you have 2 tries. Schedule your time accordingly to be able to complete your test. Okay? Do not wait until the last minute. Do not be messaging me at 10:50 p.m. Oh, miss, I'm not going to have time to finish my test. I've given you plenty of warning as to when your test is going to be available so you can manage your time, schedule time to complete your assignment. Okay? During this week, you're also going to complete the comprehensive problem dealing with the accounting cycle. You're going to have from Monday through Sunday to complete the accounting cycle. Okay? The problem is a little bit long. Do expect it to spend between 2 to maybe 6-7 hours completing it, depending on how familiar you are with the components of the accounting cycle. Week number 4, you're going to cover chapters 7, 8, and 9. Okay? Now, completion of these 3 chapters, you're going to have to complete a quiz and a homework for each chapter. Okay? The last day to withdraw is Friday, August the 2nd. By this time, you should be able to figure out, am I going to pass or not pass the class? Am I participating or not participating? If you do need to make the decision to withdraw, the drop date information is provided in your syllabus. Okay? So week number 4, you're going to cover 7, 8, and 9. And then the last week, which is week number 5, you're going to review for your final exam. The final is only over the last 3 chapters. Okay? And then your final exam is going to be available on Tuesday, August the 6th from 8 a.m. through Thursday, August the 8th, 2019. Okay? Now, I've given you Monday so you can focus, prepare, study. That full day is going to be study mode. And then you're going to have Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. 3 days to complete your final exam. Okay? So this is the schedule. This is very important. As you can see, all of your due dates are outlined. So there is no excuse why you're not meeting your deadlines. Okay? The last page of your syllabus gives you a grading point system. So I've broken down how many points each of your assignments for each of the chapters is worth. Okay? So if you want to skip or not do your homework, okay, you're going to be missing out on 250 points. Okay? So I highly encourage that you complete all of your assignments. I've outlined how many points each of your assignments is worth. That will bring you to your 1,000 points system that I'm grading based off. Okay, so this is also very important for you to have. Okay, so I recommend that you read in detail the entire syllabus and have it printed out and have it handy. there's a folder here on how to access Cengage now, and I'll go through that in a little bit, but there's just some videos and a guide that will help you in case you have additional questions once we go over this. Okay, but there's just some additional resources that you have. Okay, if I go back to the start here, okay, what do we have here? Let me see. Let me go in. Okay, so we've already gone over the syllabus. There's some important information there. Review it. This is all of the schedule. All I did was copy and paste it here. Okay, that way you know your due dates. You're going to have 2 tests. You're going to have 3 hours to complete each of the tests. And I've got the dates here when they're going to be available online. This is the course grading criteria and the point scale system, so you can review that on your own. Okay. Okay. There's a third folder, and this particular folder is just for general information. This is your student technical resources and support. If you have issues with Blackboard, okay, you're not able to access Blackboard, I cannot help you. You need to contact Blackboard support. Okay, so I've included that information here. I've also included some important numbers in case you have a financial aid question, you need to contact admissions or the cashiers. I've provided you that information here. And if you want to do a browser check to make sure that your computer is working accurately, then you can do that as well. Okay. Okay. I've also included some user guides for Cengage and some pricings. Okay. Now, if you're a student, for the most part, most of my students utilize the $119.99 option, which is unlimited access for a semester. I do have some students that have said, well, Miss, I'm going to be I'm working on my accounting clerk certificate, and I'm going to need access to Cengage for the whole year. They go ahead and they save some money by getting the 12-month access for $180. So what that's going to do, it's going to give them unlimited access for the entire year and any resources that are related to or are coming from Cengage. Okay, so it's a pretty good deal. And if you want to get a 2-year, it's $239. And this is just some general information you might have. Okay, now this is all of the information under the Start Here tab. There's this link here that I'm going to go over in a bit. I'm going to skip it for now, because this link is how we're going to access Cengage. Okay, but I'm going to skip it for now. I'll come back to later. I want to go over my Blackboard first, and then we can move on to Cengage. Okay, so after you've completed going over all of the information under the Start Here, you're going to go to Course Content. Okay, now let me switch over to Student View. Okay, I am the instructor, so I do have access to different things. Okay, so what I'm doing here is, this is what your Blackboard should look like. Okay, so if you go to Course Content, you're going to see week number 1. Okay, every week a new folder is going to pop up. Okay, so every Monday you're going to see a new folder appear with more information. That way, for week number 1, this is all you have to deal with. If you click on the link here, it's going to take you to the actual content of the folder. Okay, I provide you with an overview of each of the chapters that we're covering. I provide you with the learning objectives. What are you going to learn in each of these chapters? Okay, I also provide you with PowerPoints. Okay, if you want to print these out and take notes as you're reading the chapter, that will greatly help you. Okay, you need to read each of the chapters. So you read, you review the PowerPoint. Okay, and then down here, I've indicated all of the assignments that are due this week, the due date, and the time. Okay, that way you don't forget. This is what needs to be completed during week number 1. Okay, and you'll have one of these every week. Okay, I'm going to go through each of the items, that way you just become familiar with what they are. Okay, discussions. I don't use discussions in this class. This is a very short class, so I will not be having any discussions in this particular class. I do have announcements. Okay, every week I will be posting 1 or 2 announcements depending on what we're doing. Okay, for example, right now I have a welcome announcement. I'm welcoming students to my class. I'm giving them general information. Okay, make sure that you go in there and read all of the announcements. I don't have any course alerts. Okay, now it's very important. Blackboard messages. If you do need to communicate with me during the summer, the best way for you to communicate with me is through Blackboard messages. So if you want to contact me or you want to communicate with any of your fellow classmates, you can just create a message. Excuse me. So, depending on who you want to send the message to, just select two. You find the person that you want to send the message to. You drag it over to the other side. You type subject. You can put question on chapter 2. Okay? And then you can just type your message here. Okay? Once you're done typing your message, you just select the submit button. Okay? That's going to send a message to Claudia Mercado, me, the instructor, and I'll be able to communicate with you through here. And we'll have a record of our communication within the actual course. That's why I prefer students contact me through Blackboard messages. That way all of the information is retained in the actual course. Okay? So that's how you send a message. Either you can to me or you can just select any of the names of the students in the class. Okay? And then I'm going to go to my grades. As you're completing your assignments, your grades are going to automatically populate here. The number of points that you've earned. Okay? So that this will be filling in as you're completing your assignments. Towards the end of the semester, you are going to be asked to complete a course evaluation. This is the link for you to complete your course evaluation. And last but not least, the Cengage login. Okay? This is where you can go to get redirected to your assignments. So let's say, for example, you've read chapter 1, you've reviewed chapter 1 PowerPoints, and you're getting ready to take the quiz. You go into Cengage login, you come and you say, okay, I'm ready to take the quiz. You click on this little icon and it's going to take you straight to your quiz. Okay? Anytime you see this blue little circular motion thing here, that means that whenever you click on it, you're going to be redirected into Cengage. Okay? So it's going to take you automatically outside of Blackboard and into Cengage. This course is integrated. So whatever happens in Cengage will automatically be populated into Blackboard. So all of your grades will automatically feed in to Blackboard. Okay? So this is where you can access your assignments. You can access your student dashboard. If you have any technical problems with Cengage, you can contact them. You can access MindTab, which is your electronic book. So all of this information is available. All of this is related to Cengage. Okay? So that's basically an overview of my Blackboard. You know, go in there, click some buttons, go through the items. You're not going to break anything, okay? Now, I've been talking for too long now. Now, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take you on a little tour of Cengage. Now, Cengage is very important because that is where you're going to be completing your assignments, okay? So, to access Cengage, okay, now, this might look, let me clarify, this might look a little bit different for you than for me because I am an instructor and I have been using Cengage, this particular course, because I set it up. So there might be some discrepancies of how this looks and how you might look at, or how it might look on your end, but for the most part it'll be very similar. Okay, so to access Cengage for the first time, you're going to go ahead and you're going to go down into the start here. So you're going to go to start here. And you're going to go ahead and you're going to go down to this link. Okay? That's going to take you to another page. Okay? It's redirecting you to Cengage. Okay? Now, the system identified that I'm trying to register for my course. Okay? Now, I've already done this. You do get a free, I believe it's a 14-day trial period. So if you see here, I have 11 days left. When you do this initially, you should have 14 days left. Okay? But I've been using this for a while already. So, you might be prompted to create a user and a password. Okay? If this is the first time using it, you can create one. If you already have one established, then you can just enter your user and password. Now, you must utilize the same user and password for all of your courses That way you can utilize the Cengage unlimited access. Okay, so you have various options here. Okay, so the first option is open the course, and we'll do that in a bit. Okay, now the system is telling me I have 11 free days of this trial period. After 11 days, I'm not going to have access to the system. So I have two options after my free trial period. Okay, I can go to the bookstore and I can buy an access code from the bookstore. If you do that, it's going to be a piece of paper. You're going to open it up, scratch it up, and it's going to give you a long number. Okay, if you do that option, you're going to click here and you're going to enter that number from the bookstore into your access code. If you want to purchase it straight from Cengage, same price, $119.99. Okay, you go here and you're going to buy from Cengage. Okay? If you click here, you're going to be redirected. You can enter your debit or credit card and you can buy it. That's going to give you access for the entire semester. So you get 14 days for free. And that should give you enough time to either get your financial aid funds if you're getting any, get paid from work, or do whatever is it that you need to do to get the money to be able to pay for the access. The access is required. It is not optional. All of your assignments will be completed in Cengage. Okay? So, for now, I don't have any money and I'm not going to buy anything. I'm going to keep on using my trial period. And that's what you're doing. I'm just going to go to my course. Okay? I'm going to select this option. Okay? Now, when you go in there, you're going to view assignments. Okay? Right now, there's no assignments available because the class hasn't started. As soon as the class starts, the assignments are going to start populating. Under the assignments tab, you're going to have all of your assignments listed. Okay? You have another tab, which is your grades. Okay? As soon as you take these are all of the assignments that you have to complete. As soon as you start completing your assignments, you're going to have your score entered, the number of times you completed it, whether it was 1 or 2. Remember that you have 2 tries to complete all of your assignments. And it keeps track of how long it took you to complete each of the assignments. Okay? So this will be populating as you complete your assignments, and it's going to keep track of your grade up here. Okay? Right now there's nothing because we haven't started yet. Okay? And then we have your study tools. Okay? So in these study tools, you're going to have an adaptive study plan. This is additional resources. If you want to study some more, you're having problems, you can just select the study plans and then you can start studying. Okay, it'll give you like additional quizzes or additional information. These are not for a grade. You have flashcards, crossword puzzles, additional resources. This you can just go in there and practice, take some quizzes. You can do as much as you want. It is not for a grade. This is just for you to study. Okay? So this is available to you under the study tools. Anything that you do under the study tools will not impact your grade. Okay? So you have the adaptive study plans. You have the study tools option as well, which will redirect you to the chapter that you're working on. So let's say I'm working on chapter 1. It'll give you some study tools here. It'll give you a puzzle, flashcards. Okay? So I'll give you flashcards of the vocabulary, and it'll give you a glossary. Okay? They're just different features that you have here. Oh, and it took me out. It won't allow me to go in there again. Okay, so because I clicked on it, it's not going to allow me to go in. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to close this, and I'm going to go back in there. Okay. Okay. The last thing I want to show you under there, under Cengage, let me see, what is this? I'm going to open my course. Okay. Under Study Tools, you'll also find your ebook. Okay, so if you want to read, which you must read each chapter, this is where you'll find your ebook. Okay. Okay. So you can go to part 1 of accounting, and then we have them by chapters. So let's say, for example, I want to read chapter 1. You click on it, and you have different options here. You can highlight, you can do things that you feel you want to do, okay? Whatever is it that you want to do, you have different options here. And then this is just information. You can go to chapter contents, and this is how the chapter is broken down. So if you want to start from the beginning, this is how you start. Now, I remember I told you that you have to read. If you're not very good at reading, or you don't like to read, or whatever the case might be, this particular textbook has this option where we have a read speaker. So this little man with something coming out of his mouth, if you click on it, okay, it's going to ask you, okay, what speed do I want this person to read? Do I want them to read medium? Do I want a male or a female voice? Well, I prefer female, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to select female, and this is up to you. You select whatever, okay? Okay. And then I'm going to close it, and I'm going to, oh, it's up here, and I'm going to click it.
The purpose of accounting. The purpose of accounting is to provide financial information about the current operations and financial condition of a business to individuals.
So you see, it's reading to you, and it's highlighting what it's reading. That way you can follow along, okay? So this is what the system does if you want the system to read. Okay, I'm going to stop this now. Okay, so this is the option. You just click this little man up here, and or this person up here, and it'll read to you. Make sure that you read. Okay, now there's this little arrows. Once you're done, you can just move to the next page. If I want to highlight, I can just go ahead and you can bookmark, you can highlight, and it'll save that for you. Okay, so I'm going to highlight using pink or whatever the case might be. You can just do whatever you want on this ebook, and use it to your advantage so you can read and be able to highlight important information. You have the e-reader. You can print some of these pages. This is what your ebook looks like. Okay. Let me see. Okay. So I'm gonna go back in there. Now, let me exit. Now, because I was using a student view, you can actually see the assignments. I'm going to exit my student view, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just show you the access that I have so I can be able to show you your assignments. Okay, so I'm going to go in there, okay, and I'm going to show you what an assignment in Cengage looks like. Okay, okay, so I'm going to go to assignments. Okay, so I'm going to do a quiz first, okay? So I'm going to do chapter 1 quiz, and I'm going to preview this as a student. So this is how it should look on your end, okay? When you click on it to be able to take it, it's going to give you information. It's going to take you, this is the first attempt of 2 that you have. Once you click the start here button, you must finish it, and you have 1 hour to complete it, okay? So I'm going to start the test. So when you start the test, you have 15 questions. Okay, they're outlined here. Okay, you're gonna have the question here. This is your answer. You have a calculator, and if you find any problems that you want to report to the publisher, you can do that here. Okay, so you're gonna read the question. You're gonna select your answer. Okay. So you're gonna go through it. So this one says, since financial information is communicated in accounting terms and is the eyes and ears of management, accounting is said to be, and the answer is the language of business, or whatever the case might be. So you're going to go through each, and I'm not going to read them. I'm just going to put whatever. So you're just going to go read each question, answer them, okay? And I'm just guessing here. Make sure, this is a fill in the blank. So here you must, if you see you don't have an option, you must put in the answer, okay? So you must put in the answer that you want it to be, okay? And I'm making all of this up just so you can see how it's graded, okay? So you're going to go through each question, okay? And you're going to select your choice. In this particular question, you have options, okay? So you're going to select the options here, and then that will be graded. So this particular question has 3 answer choices, okay? This one has 2 answer choices, okay? And I'm just putting whatever, okay? Okay, so I'm done with the test, okay? Just remember, you don't do this. You must read each question and answer it correctly. I'm just doing this for demonstration purposes, okay? So you read each question, you write the answer, and then once you're ready to do it, you can go ahead and you're gonna submit for grading, okay? So it's gonna ask you, are you sure you want to submit for grading or you want to continue taking the test? Well, I'm ready to submit. I've already answered the 15 questions, okay? It's gonna give you a grade, okay? I did horrible. I got 15.56%. You're gonna have your grade instantaneously. You're gonna know how you did right out the bat. So at that point, if I got a 15 on my test, I know I need to go back and review my chapter, and I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna try it one more time, as you have one more time to complete it, okay? You have options here to view the test results, okay? So that's gonna give you the answer. So it's gonna say here, you know what, you got the first one correct, okay? The rest are incorrect. Now you won't be able to see the correct answer choices. I'm able to see them because I'm the teacher, but you won't be able to see them until the assignment closes, okay? And then you can go back to the test summary and it'll give you just a summary of your test, okay? So the quizzes are very straightforward. Fill in the blank, multiple choice, and you have a drop down option. Now, your homework is a little bit more complex, I would say, okay? So I'm going to select chapter 3 homework here so we can view it, okay? And I'm going to view it as a student, okay? So the same thing, you're provided with 2 takes. This assignment is not timed, so you can take as long as you want, okay? So I'm going to start the assignment. Now, I love it here because there's additional resources when you're completing your homework, okay? So for your homework for chapter 3, you have 6 questions, okay? I'm going to focus on the first one, and I'm not going to do the homework. I'm just showing you how it works, okay? So they're asking you to complete some T accounts, okay? So you have an option here for your ebook. So this particular problem covers objectives 2, 3, and 4. So if you need to go back and reread, these are the objectives you should focus on, okay? You have a calculator here in case you need to do some math. You can print the problem, and if you want to do it on paper, you can print it and then work it out, and then you can come in here and just fill in the blank. You can report the content problem. If you find that there's a mistake, report it here. Now, some of the problems, not all of them, okay, but some of them have a show me how video, okay? So if you don't know how to work this problem, there's a video attached. So if you click on it, it's going to redirect you to the video. Okay? And
this is probably your first chance to enter transactions into T accounts. So let's take a moment to think about the mechanical equation.
so you see, it'll provide you a short video of how to complete this problem. Okay, it's 4 minutes long. It's a short video, so you can review this as well. Oh God, and it took me out. This is what I don't like. It doesn't give me an option to go back into the assignment. Okay, I'm in there. Okay, so chapter 3 homework. I don't know if it's because I have, I'm using the instructor access to be able to view it as a student, but this video should be opening it up in a new window, okay? But you have this video here, okay, that you can utilize to be able to complete your assignment. Now, you also have 3 tries Okay? I've given students check my work. So you complete it once, you don't get it right, it's going to keep what you did correct and it's going to highlight what you got wrong. So that way you can fix it and try it again. So you have 3 tries to work your problem. After the 3 tries, the system will tell you, you can no longer try it. You have to move on to the next problem. Okay? So when you're working your problem, you fill in the information, you use your 3 tries if needed, and then you move on to the next. Okay? If you have a question about specific problem, you can email me. Now, what this is going to do, this is going to create an email to my STC email. Okay? Now, it's very important that you remember what email you used when you set up your account. Because when I answer to your email, I'm going to answer to the email that you set up in your account. Okay? When you create your Cengage account, you are asked for an email address. So make sure that you put an email address that you are constantly checking, because that is where I'm going to be responding to. Okay? So this email instructor button will give me, okay, the student is working on this problem, and then you can type your question, and then I get an email message. If, let's say, you're working on your homework, you're working on on this one problem, and you have to go, close it out because you have to go to work or you have to go to the grocery store, whatever the case might be. Always save and exit. What this is going to do is going to save your work. Okay? Do not click on the submit assignment for grading until you're done with all of your 6 problems. Okay? That button should only be used when you're getting ready for the system to grade your assignment. Okay? So if you're working on a problem and you want to save it and resume later, you save and exit. If you want to email me, you can email me through here. Just make sure that you monitor that email that you set up, that way, because that's how I'm going to respond to you. Okay? And then if you're done with this problem, you can move on to the next problem. Okay? Another video is here. Okay? So that way it'll explain to you kind of what they're doing here or what you need to do. Now, there's a lot of great examples in your textbook on how to complete all of these examples that you can follow. The dollar amounts are not the same, but the concepts are the same. So if you need to buy office supplies, there's examples on your book on how to, the entry that needs to be done to buy office supplies, so on and so forth. So it is very important that you do read the chapter. Okay? So I have videos here. In some of these problems, you're going to have multiple tabs. So these are the instructions, and then this is what you have to complete. Okay, you have to complete your trial balance. Okay, so there's just different types of problems that you need to work on. Okay, here are the instructions. Here you have to complete the income statement. Okay, so if you notice for chapter 3, all of the problems have a video attached to them. Okay, listen to the short video, read your book, and you should be good. If you are not understanding, you have a question, please communicate with me. Okay? Don't wait until the end of the semester to tell me, Miss, I'm lost. Okay? Send me a message and we'll figure something out. Okay? I'm here to help you. So this is the assignments that you're going to be completing. Okay? Something similar to this. This is just for illustrative purposes. This is from chapter 3. I just wanted to show you the options that you had available when you go into your assignments. And remember, you have 3 tries on each of the problems. That way you get to fix your mistakes. Okay? In accounting, we cannot make mistakes. We are error-free. Okay? So I'm giving you, because this is a class, I do want you to learn how to be able to figure things out. I'm giving you 3 tries. Okay? You always have to balance. Your debits must always equal your credits. Okay? So there's really no room for error. An error is made, it causes a lot of issues. Okay? It affects your financial statements, your financial position. A lot of things are affected. Okay? So it's very important that we learn accounting the right way. Okay? So this is particularly, just an overview of your problems. I've already gone over how to access the different study tools, your ebooks, your grade book, everything. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go back to my Blackboard. So, like I said, when you log in here for the first time, you will be prompted to create an account. You're going to be asked for your name, for your email, for a username, for a password. Okay? Make sure that you select the correct time zone. That way you are getting the same time zone as myself. That way you get the same due dates. Okay, so that is basically just the overview of my course. Please, if you have any questions, reach out to me via Blackboard Messages. Send me a Blackboard message with the question number that you're working on, with your specific question or questions, and I want to see your work. Okay? If you're solving a problem, send me a screenshot of how you're doing it so I can be able to look at your work and provide guidance as to what you need to do to fix the problem or where you're having the issue. Okay? Do not feel that because this is an online class, you are alone. Okay? I am here to help you. Okay? Anything you might need, okay? Just let me know, and we'll try to figure it out as much as we can. Okay? Be responsible from day number 1. Log into your course. Stay organized. Make sure you adhere to all of the deadlines. Communicate with me, and I'm sure that we're gonna do great. Okay? So if you have any questions, make sure you reach out to me. This is the end of the short orientation. Well, not so short because I talked for a while here. But I wish you nothing but the best of luck. Log in into Blackboard on a daily basis. And I wish you an awesome summer too. Thank you.